Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Totally Unqualified podcast. I am joined by my two amazing co-hosts. I mean, they just light up my day when I see their beautiful faces. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great. That's a big compliment right there, Jake.
You know what?
So much.
Of course. I just, I wanted to express how much I appreciate you guys,
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, I come in here every time we record with that in mind. Like that is my goal, is to brighten Jake's day. Luke, for you, I don't give a fuck. But Jake, I want to make you happy.
Thank you so much, Gage.
Yeah.
I mean, I can only try as hard as I can.
All right, guys. By the way, if you guys are listening to us on Apple Podcasts, just make sure to give us a rating and review. We do appreciate it. Push this podcast out to even more people. So if you could do that, that would be great. You know how we start every single episode. We start it with the Guess That Player. Luke is currently killing it right now with a score of 10-8 to 1-1.
That's big.
The 1-1s obviously being Adam Rank and Gage himself.
Will this be the week? Will this be the week?
This could be it. This is if I'm gonna give you a difficulty level on a scale of like 1 to 5. This is like a 2. This is pretty easy. Okay,
all right, it's a layup. Let's go.
All right, yeah. Let's do this. All right. But I would call it a wide open layup because those are the most difficult layups. When they're so easy and you don't want to fuck it up.
So much pressure.
Right. Exactly. Let's get into it. Obviously, NFL player. Went to Georgia. Okay. Attended University of Georgia.
Matt Stafford.
No. Was drafted in 2011. Nothing?
No.
All right, drafted in the first round in 2011. Maybe that'll narrow it down a little bit.
Who's still in the league?
He has been on 2 teams, and he had just recently gone from an AFC team to an NFC team. He's an offensive player.
Oh,
I'm gonna read those again.
Man.
I feel like we've been really slow the past couple of weeks.
Yeah,
getting these.
This one, you guys are going to hear it. You're going to be like, all right. Attended the University of Georgia, was drafted in the first round in 2011. I'll narrow it down even more. He was a top 10 pick in 2011. Okay. Went from AFC to NFC recently, as he has only been on 2 teams in his NFL career, and he is an offensive player.
I'm blanking.
He is a 7-time Pro Bowler.
7-time Pro Bowler. We have no idea.
He is a very significant player.
Not
a quarterback. Not a quarterback.
Significant player.
Skill position.
Skill.
Oh man.
I'm not giving you any more hints. This should be
2011 first round top 10 pick. Went from an AFC team.
I'm not gonna get it. I'm just not gonna get it.
Wow. All right, go one more time. He went to the University of Georgia with a top 10 pick in 2011. He's a skill position offensive player. Went from AFC to NFC, has only been on 2 teams in his NFL career. He just recently went from the AFC.
AJ Green.
Yes. There it is. There it is.
Let's go, Gage. Let's go.
Let's go.
Gage is now officially ahead of Adam Rank.
So hyped. I should not be this proud of myself.
Oh man, that's great. AJ Green, Adriel Jeremiah Green.
Let's go.
Wow. Huh. I would have never got that.
I thought that was easy.
AJ Green just slipped my mind.
I was like, I know it has to be a receiver.
Yeah. I thought you guys would have at least guessed Julio. Like I thought that would have been thrown out there.
I don't even think I guessed.
Well, unless you knew that Julio went to Alabama.
Yeah.
Wow. I kept thinking running back because of all the Georgia running backs.
That's what I was thinking at first too, and then I was like, it can't be.
Yeah, AJ Green is probably, if I'm thinking correctly, the best receiver that Georgia has produced, maybe ever. Like I can't think.
Honestly,
I can't.
A lot of people forget just how good AJ Green was in those early years with the Bengals.
Oh yeah. Even just like 2 years ago, before he was injured that whole season last year. just like he's so good. He's not old. He's like this. He's the same age as Julio. We see Julio still doing it.
He just needs to get the reps.
Exactly. He's been playing better lately.
Mm.
He's starting to get his get back in football shape. All right. So obviously we're in the midst of football season, but we got the NBA right around the corner. It's sneaking up on us right now. Also, the NHL starts in like 2 weeks. Baseball's coming to a close. So a lot of sports, we're coming into a very big shift here in the sports world. So we're going to be talking about the way too early NBA awards. So we're going to be giving our way too early NBA awards. We're going to do coach of the year, most improved player, sixth man, rookie of the year, defensive player, and MVP. So Gage, why don't you start us off with your coach of the year?
For my coach of the year, it's somebody that I have been fairly high on, and I like the hire for the Indiana Pacers. I'm going with Rick Carlisle. I think that team is on the come up, and I think that he's going to take them to that next level where they can be a playoff level team. I really liked him with the Mavericks. Of course, he did some great things there with Luka. Obviously, there was some tension there that ended up causing him to leave in the first place, but I just love Rick Carlisle to take the Pacers to that next level.
Good pick. I'm going a different direction. I'm going to be looking at who I think is going to be the best team in basketball next season, and that is the Brooklyn Nets, led by Steve Nash. I think this is probably going to be a little bit of a team does well, and makes the coach look good, even though, I mean, it's Steve Nash. He's not really that great of a head coach, just going into his second year. It's more so because of how great the team is. But I think Steve Nash wins this, and I think he probably wins it with ease, because I think the Nets are coming in and they potentially could win 70 games, and I wouldn't be surprised. So give me Steve Nash as my coach of the year.
Even without Kyrie Irving, though, if he doesn't play because of COVID?
I think they're going to find a way to work around that. I really do. I think Kyrie's going to end up playing. And I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're going to have to think quick. I mean, the season's right around the corner, like you said.
Yeah. And actually, if he figures out a way, with Kyrie's, in and out, he's only playing so many games. If he figures out a way to, be the best team in the NBA, even with that going on, that even adds to his case for coach of the year.
Also
exactly.
True.
Yeah,
exactly.
So I'm going to go a different route for a team that hasn't been good for a while now. I'm going to go with Billy Donovan, coach of the Chicago Bulls. Listen, this pains me to say as a Knicks fan, but the Bulls, this was one of the best rebuilds I have seen in a while in this offseason, what the Bulls did. You go out and you get Lonzo Ball, which is just awesome for that team. You got Patrick Williams coming back. You got Zach LaVine still, obviously. Like this team is going to be really, really good. Billy Donovan was a really good coach in OKC. He led all those great OKC teams. And now he's got something in Chicago here. It's going to be, he's got the talent to do it. And I think he's going to bring Chicago. I think it's going to be kind of a similar thing to how Tom Thibodeau won it last year, how the Knicks were atrocious and he brought them to the playoffs. I think if Billy Donovan is able to bring the Chicago Bulls team, which has just been abysmal for the last couple of years, to the playoffs, and even be a top 4 seed in the playoffs, which is very possible for this Bulls team. I think lock it in. I think you can't not make him coach of the year. That's my take on things.
I like that a lot.
I think that's a great pick. I do think the Bulls are going to be a top 3 seed in the East. I thought their rebuild, just like you said, was outstanding. I mean, to get DeMar DeRozan, Alex Caruso, you got Vooch last year at the trade deadline, already paired with Zach LaVine, who's one of the most prolific scorers in the NBA. I think that team is going to be great. And Kobe White coming off the bench too.
Yeah.
Like this is a really good squad right here in Chicago.
All right, moving on to most improved player. Luke, why don't you start us off with this one?
All right. I don't know if this is fair. I'm going with Ben Simmons as my most improved player. Listen. I think it's kind of like grabbing at apples here, grasping at straws. Or or low hanging fruit. A lot of wrong.
I had
metaphors
no
right
idea
there.
where you were going with
Low
that.
hanging
I was
fruit.
like,
Low hanging fruit. So everybody, of course, knows the tragedy that happened in Philadelphia this season and this offseason. Joel Embiid now coming out in the media and saying that he's disappointed in Ben. He doesn't know what he's doing. Yada yada yada. Ben's gonna get traded. I don't know when it's gonna be, but I think he's gonna have a fire under his ass. I mean, we see all these shots in the offseason. He has a shot. Why the fuck are we not taking shots in game? Excuse my language. I'm trying not to curse anymore. But yeah, I think Ben Simmons is gonna have a fire lit under his ass as I curse again, and I think he's gonna win Most Improved Player. Hopefully, it's not on the Toronto Raptors. Please, God, no. But whatever team he's on, I think he's gonna have a role. He's gonna have the ball in his hands, and he's gonna come in with vengeance this season.
I like that. I really fucking like that pick, Luke. That's it's a great pick.
it was fucking great, Luke. It was so fucking good.
Thank you.
Don't know that I agree with it. I have to see it to believe it with Ben Simmons at this point. But my Most Improved Player just signed a big contract, and I think that he's going to be on a prove it year. Yes, Michael Porter Jr. I think is going to come in, and he's going to be that prolific scorer, not dealing with injuries or anything like that this season, like he was throughout the playoffs and stuff at the end of last season. And I think he's going to be worth that contract.
Yeah, he was great last year. Might be even better next year or this season.
Yeah, he was such a steal in the draft. Good for the Nuggets for taking a chance on him at the end of the lottery a couple of years ago. Especially with that back injury. You don't really want to mess around with back injuries. All right. This is a little bit of a homer pick. I will admit that, but I'm going to go with RJ Barrett for my Most Improved Player. Okay. He showed a lot last year, a lot of improvement in his second year. He took a big step forward. His shot's getting better. His decision-making is getting better. He's really turning into just an all-around player, which we all saw that he could be at Duke. If you didn't know, RJ Barrett was actually the number one recruit coming out of that Zion Williamson class. Zion wasn't even number one. It was RJ Barrett. So RJ's got talent. Okay. And we were starting to see it last year. He was a little bit under the umbrella of Julius Randle because of how good of a season Julius Randle was having. By the way, we still haven't found him. So if you do see him, just keep looking. All right. NBA season coming up. I'm getting a little worried.
Hopefully he shows up.
Yeah, I know. That'd be pretty bad.
Hey, if he doesn't, all the more reason for RJ Barrett to pop off.
Exactly. There you go. Yeah. So RJ, I think is just in for a monster year, another year of development in that team in Tom Thibodeau's system, which I think is perfect for him. I'm just excited to see what RJ does.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like he finally found his role last season on this team under Tom Thibodeau. I don't know if that would have happened previously because his rookie year was a little bit shaky, but I mean, good as Canada as anybody else in the NBA to win it this year.
Yeah, I like that pick a lot too.
All right. Gage, you want to give us your sixth man?
I will. And I told you guys I was trying to make it a little bit interesting. I don't know if you guys would have thought of this one. Tyrese Halliburton, I think, is going to be a great candidate for sixth man of the year because you've got De'Aaron Fox, obviously, and you've got Buddy Hield on that Sacramento Kings team. So there's not much room for Tyrese Halliburton to be part of that first team. So I think you stick him right in with the second team guys, and he's going to do great things for that team. He looked very good in his rookie season last year, obviously. So he's going to come into a sophomore year, and I think he's going to pick up right where he left off.
I hope so, man. The Kings need something. They need something. They have so many good young players too, and they just can't put it together. I mean, hopefully. I like that pick though. I'm going with my favorite player in the league right now, not Kyle Lowry, but Chris Boucher of the Toronto Raptors. I think he might. All right, he's not going to win Defensive Player of the Year. Let me pump the brakes, but I think he is going to he's going to assert himself into that, top 10 best defenders, especially in the paint. I mean, this guy was top 5 in blocks last year. He's so lengthy, so long. Pause. He could block anything from any distance. He has a shot too. I just hope they use him in the right way because with Kem Birch there, he's not going to be the starter. And Aaron Baines isn't going to be taking minutes away from him anymore. So hopefully he gets more time. That's on Nick Nurse, though. Give me Chris Boucher as most improved. I think he doesn't get talked about nearly enough as a defender, as a rebounder, as just a player in the NBA. Give me Chris Boucher, the slim duck.
Definitely somebody I wouldn't have thought of.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Did you say the Slim Duck?
That's his
Slim
nickname.
Duck.
That's his nickname. Yeah.
NBA's got to work on their nicknames.
These NBA
I mean,
nicknames
he's
are
from he came out of Oregon, so
the Slim Duck. Okay. Gotcha.
Mm.
So what's Bobo? The Slimmer Duck?
The Slimmer Duck, yeah.
Right.
Slender man.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
All right. For my sixth man, I mean, there's nothing special here. I'm going Jordan Clarkson. Like it until somebody proves me otherwise, like it's Jordan Clarkson. He's just so important to that Utah team. He's been really good for them. He contributed to give them a deep run into the playoffs or a semi-deep run into the playoffs last year. Contributed a lot off the bench, can score with anybody. So yeah, I mean, I'm not just going to keep rambling on. I mean, we all know how good Jordan Clarkson is as six man.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I feel like it was Lou Williams, and now we're transitioning into the Jordan Clarkson era of just dominating six men.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great off that Jazz bench. I mean, he won it last year. I wouldn't be surprised to see him two-peat.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to a little bit of a juicier category here. We're going rookie of the year. Gage, what you got?
I like Jalen Green a lot. And that one's not quite as interesting because I feel like he's kind of at the top of that category with what's his name? Remind me.
Cade Cunningham.
Yes, Cade Cunningham. I think those two are definitely going to duke it out for that award all season long. And Jalen Green showed me a lot in Summer League that, I mean, that's what the Rockets need, is exactly what he has. And I think that he's going to go in there and he's going to change that culture immediately after that shock that they had losing James Harden last season. So I like him for it.
I also have Jalen Green. This was a pretty easy pick. I think he's the best player coming out of the draft over Cade Cunningham, over Evan Mobley, over Scotty Barnes, over Jalen Suggs. He is that guy. He is that guy in Houston now. He's the leader of that team. He's the leader of that franchise. They're going to give him the keys at a very young age. He has all the talent in the world, all the bounce in the world. He's a prolific scorer. He's great at the rim. He could just do it all. I'd like to see him improve his shot, but man, is he filthy? And what is he? Only like 20 years old, 19? Like he's only going to get better. So he's my rookie of the year. I think he's going to be the best player out of this draft class, hands down.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really argue with that. I kind of went in a different direction here because I feel like centers don't get a lot of love. I feel like they don't get a lot of love when it comes to rookie of the year. So I'm going to go with Evan Mobley, number 3 overall pick, coming out of USC, one of the most highly recruited players I can remember. Dude's a beast, like he is. I really think that he could be that star player that Cleveland has been looking for since LeBron left. I feel like that Evan Mobley can be that guy. We're seeing the evolution of the center in the NBA, and it's becoming important again. Like centers, there was a point where you could have played like a 5'10" guy at center, 6'10", sorry, not 5'10", 6'10" guy at center, and you would have been. I mean, it was normal. 6'9", 6'8", like guys were doing it. They were playing. We were in a very much a small ball era, but then we see these stretch fives that are coming out that can stretch the 4, hit the 3, and Evan Mobley is adding to that as one of those guys that could just dominate at the 5. And I just think he's a really good piece for this Cavs team to build around. So yeah, I'm going Evan Mobley. I just feel like he's not getting a lot of love. I feel like he's not getting a lot of love.
Yeah, the one thing that makes me hesitant about Evan Mobley is the fact that they have Jarrett Allen there. So he's going to be taking minutes away from him. They also just traded for Lauri Markkanen. So he's going to come in at the 4. So I don't really know how they're going to fit Evan Mobley into that rotation. I mean, he's going to get in somehow. He's too good of a player. It's not to. So we'll see. But I'm kind of hesitant on Evan Mobley for that reason.
We're going to switch it up to defensive player of the year now. Luke, you want to start us off?
Rudy Gobert. Come on. I mean, he's too good. He's too good. Nobody, cool. I mean, do I have to say anything? I mean, Giannis is a great candidate, but I mean, nobody's getting past Rudy Gobert. He's dominating this era. So yeah, what is it going to be, his 4th if he wins it this year? His 4th, his 3rd? It's crazy.
No, 3rd. I think it's 3rd. I'm not.
No, I think he's
I want to say it's his 4th. I want to say
it's 4th.
Yeah.
All right. Wow, that's insane. If he 2004. Hold on.
I mean, Great Wall of Gobert is just he's ridiculous. Ridiculous blocking everything. You can't go over him.
It would be his fourth if you wanted this year.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Obviously I can't hate that pick. I don't have any reason not to think that he's going to be in the conversation. But for me, I went a little different route and I went with Bam Adebayo for the Miami Heat. He finished like third in voting last season, I think. And now that they added Kyle Lowry, he doesn't have to add quite as much to that offense, I don't think, because you've got Lowry, you've got obviously Jimmy Butler, you've got the guys there that are able to score. So I think that he's going to be able to focus more on being that defender and being that guy in the paint to, swat some shit. And I just, I like that a lot for him.
Swat some shit. Let's go, Bam.
Shit.
Oh my gosh, such professional analysis on this show, on this podcast. I'm gonna go with who I thought was a top 2, if not the best defensive player for the second half of the NBA season. I'm going Nerlens Noel. Nerlens Noel, unless you watched, if you weren't watching Knicks games, I can't even begin to explain how big of a part he played in getting the Knicks to the playoffs. He stepped in there when Mitchell Robinson went down, and he was blocking everything. I want to say he was damn near averaging 3 blocks a game. He was blocking everything. Nobody could get past him. It was the Great Wall of Noel up there in Madison Square Garden. And I hope he brings that same energy this year. He's a great defensive player. He's kind of been lacking on the offensive end since he was drafted by the Sixers with a very high pick a couple years back. But he is a defensive superstar. So I'm going to go with Nerlens Noel. If he could keep up what he did for the second half of the season all this year, he's going to be in that conversation. I guarantee it.
He was great in the playoffs. Or not the playoffs, but the end of the season. And the regular season kind of him in the playoffs. But down the stretch, he was great.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to the biggest award of them all, the most valuable player. Gage, who is your 2021-2022 MVP?
Finishing up my list of guys that are a little bit out there, but it's not totally unreasonable. Damian Lillard is my 2021-2022 MVP.
I like that.
And I think it's going to have a lot to do with him having to drag that Blazers team to the playoffs. Yet again, he's going to have to do a lot of it himself. He doesn't really have the pieces around him. CJ McCollum is still there. They haven't made any big trades or anything like that. So he's got a little bit of help, but I think he's going to have to put the team on his back. And because of that, I think that he's going to drop just crazy amounts of points every game. He's going to take that team to the playoffs. I don't know that they'll do much in the playoffs again, but I think that he's definitely going to have a case.
I mean, finally, right? He's got to. I mean, he is that guy in Portland, and they're just not giving many help. He is the most valuable player in many different ways. So definitely could see him winning that. I almost went with my my Sam Darnold for MVP take here. Which, to your surprise, was going to be LaMelo Ball. But I can't do that to myself right now. It's too late. I can't spit nonsense. So I'm going with the easy pick. If you've listened to the podcast this summer, I rave about him. Luka Doncic is that guy. It's time for him to take over the league. I mean, he's a top 5 player already, and he's not even 23 yet. I mean, the guy's crazy. He's only 3 years older than me. That's insane. He does everything. Such a prolific scorer. Nobody could stop him. One of the best step backs in the game. Has to get better defensively, and I feel like if that happens, that gives him even more reason to go for an MVP. But I mean, I'm expecting big things out of the Mavericks now that they have Jason Kidd. Now that it's the Luka show officially now. I mean, let's go Dallas. I want to see it happen, and I think it very well could happen. And, he's probably going to average close to 29, 30 a game. So, I mean, he's going to be the best scorer in the league for a while now. I think this is going to be his first MVP of his career.
Pretty sure he's younger than me.
Is he?
It's rough, boys. I'm telling
right.
you.
It's right, Gage. I look at Zion and I'm like, that guy's the same age as me.
Yes.
That's
crazy.
When you
get to this point and you see guys like Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson and stuff like that entering the league, it's like, oh my God.
Yep. He's 22.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, great picks. I'm going to go with somebody that I think, he's not getting as much attention as I think he deserves. And I think this is a year He finally gets everybody in the media talking about him. He's dropping 30, 40 on any given night. I'm going Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell. This Jazz team is so good, and he is too good to not be. He's too good on such a good team to not be considered in the MVP conversation. We had this conversation with OG. Yeah. And I believe this is the year that Donovan Mitchell steps up. He comes up clutch. He's scoring, damn near 30 a game. I just feel like it's his time. He's got so much talent, and to be on a team like Utah and just not be talked about in the MVP conversation up to this point, I feel like this is going to be the year. I don't want to say explodes because he kind of has already exploded, but just takes that next step.
Yeah, I like that. Definitely can't hate that. I mean, like you said, he's in the perfect situation to at least be in the conversation like we talked about with OG. So I feel like he has to this season. Otherwise, something is wrong.
Yeah. I mean, we saw him take the next step last year, got the number 1 seed. We saw guys like Devin Booker take that next step. So I definitely want to see Donovan Mitchell elevate. And he's on the team to do so. He's going to get all that recognition now that he's on one of the best teams in the NBA. So, I mean, hopefully the media creates that narrative right away because, I mean, I could see it happening for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I thought you were going to say Kyle Lowry for a second there.
No.
I was a little disappointed.
Kyle Lowry. If I ever say Kyle Lowry and MVP in the same conversation at this point in his career, just shoot me.
Come on.
All right.
Come on.
All right. Moving on. Random Rankings is back, people.
Mm-hmm.
And this time we're going to be doing our top 3 Super Bowl halftime shows. Gage, I want to start out with you. Give it to us.
Okay. I just want to preface it with the reason that we're doing this is obviously they announced who the performers at this year's Super Bowl halftime show are going to be. We've got Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar. We got Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Eminem. So like we talked about before we started recording, it's either going to be fantastic or it's going to be a complete clusterfuck. So we'll see how it goes. But as far as taking a little flashback at number 3, and I want to also say, I'm not big on halftime shows. Most of them I tend to not like, especially in recent years. So I went with more so the ones that produce the best memes for me. And so at number 3, I've got Lady Gaga in 2017. Obviously, the memes of her jumping off the top of the stadium were fantastic. Yeah. At number 2, I actually like this one, so it doesn't have anything to do with the memes really, but Bruno Mars and the Red Hot Chili Peppers, big fans of both of their music. They put on a great show, so I really enjoyed that one back in 2014. And then Katy Perry in 2015, the shark memes, just chef's kiss, fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, if you're doing it based off memes, we could have another list here. Real quick, I don't know how I feel about this year's Super Bowl halftime. I don't like that we're doing multiple performers in one single halftime. We were talking about it before we started recording. For some reason, I'm a real big connoisseur of Super Bowl halftime shows. It's one of my favorite things in the world. I love talking about it. Love predicting who I think is going to be next. They got to get Post Malone somewhere in there. Post Malone, Drake, let's go. But no, at number 3, I have Katy Perry. This was very memorable as a kid. I mean, Left Shark did it all. I was listening to Katy Perry actually today, a bunch of her songs in the 2010s playlist. It was a great performance. I mean, it was happy, fun. They had the I remember Dark Horse. They had like the cool lights on the field. So that was
she rode in on a lion.
Yeah, on the lion, exactly.
The electronic.
She flew when she sang Fireworks. She flew around. Where was that? Yep. That was in Arizona, I want to say. All right. At number 2, I can't believe you don't have him on your list, Gage. I mean, Prince 2007. I mean, it's regarded as the best Super Bowl halftime, not in my opinion, as CJ Uzama just scored another touchdown, I believe. We're recording this during the Thursday Night Football game. Prince was outstanding. I mean, you can't top that. Rest in peace. I mean, Purple Rain, doing it literally in the rain. It was outstanding. You just can't get better than that. You can't top that except for this one guy. And you mentioned him already, Gage. Bruno Mars is my fucking guy. Bruno Mars, absolutely. I don't think I could ever love an artist more than I love Bruno Mars. Everything about that Super Bowl halftime was outstanding. The finish, the intro with the Red Hot Chili Peppers, where they didn't have the amp plugged into his guitar, so he was he was airplaying there. Bruno Mars just absolutely stole the show, and he did it in fucking New York in February. Like, come on. It was cold as shit. They will never have another Super Bowl like that ever again in a cold weather stadium like that. Give me Bruno Mars at 1. Greatest halftime ever. I mean, other than Prince, but
I gotta say I did enjoy that halftime show, as I did enjoy that game as well. So
that was a good one. Yeah.
yeah, it was a great game. Yeah, it pained me. I had Bruno Mars on this, and then I took him off at the last second because I remembered one that I liked better. Katy Perry is another honorable mention because those are great. I will say, I'm doing halftime shows that I've seen. Okay. So I didn't start watching football like seriously until like 2010, 2011. So anything that and up, I'm not going to do something. I'm not going to pull up like Michael Jackson and be like, oh, well, no, I didn't see it. Okay. I can watch a YouTube video on it. I'm not going to, because I don't care that much, but this is my list. All right.
Number Jake 3, hates Michael Jackson confirmed.
I did not say that. I said I don't care that much.
I think that is what you said. I heard that.
No, that's what
I love Michael Jackson.
I heard that.
Sped,
Michael
Sped,
Jackson.
Instagram. Sped.
He said
Jesus that. Christ. He makes great music. Rest in peace. Anyway, at number 3, I'm gonna have The Weeknd from last year. This one was really like I liked it, especially the confusing ass memes that Gage. You want to talk about memes? The memes that came out of when he was in that, whatever with all those people around.
The mirror room,
I don't know. That was whatever, the mirror room, whatever. That was so funny. I thought it was a good one. At number 2, I'm gonna have Coldplay in 2015. That was the same year that Beyonce and Bruno Mars had the dance off at halftime. That was fucking awesome. Plus, I love Coldplay. One of the bands I listened to growing up. And number 1, I'm gonna have Shakira and J-Lo. I did not expect to have this at 1. When they announced it, I was like, this one's gonna suck because I really don't care about Shakira or J-Lo. Yeah, everybody loves Hips Don't Lie, but other than that, I was like, what's this gonna be like? They blew me away with that halftime show. That show was so fucking good. Maybe it's just because I had such low expectations, but that was the first halftime show. Me and my roommate went back and watched. We put it on the TV and everything. The next day we watched it again. I was like, that was so good. I don't know. It was awesome. So yeah, they get my number 1 spot. I did not expect them to be as good as they were.
Yeah. A lot of cheeks in that one.
Yeah. Can we talk about how Shakira, when she did that tongue thing to the camera, how that pretty much kicked off the pandemic? Can we talk about that for a second?
Did it?
Like, that's literally that was the kickoff to the pandemic. Like, right after that happened, shit went crazy.
We got a lot going on in this episode, boys.
Oh yeah,
Jake hates Michael Jackson.
Right.
I don't hate Michael Jackson. This is fake news. Oh my gosh, just what the media does. They tell you what you want to hear. That's what it is. They spin your story.
Right in the headline. New York Times.
Bullshit.
Two things. One, I went back over the summer and watched and I critiqued all of the Super Bowl halftimes from the past 20 years. I will say I did not like J-Lo and Shakira at first, but when I graded it, I graded Super Bowl halftimes.
Great. You went back and graded them?
I graded Super Bowl halftimes. I made a spreadsheet. It's embarrassing. So that was actually one of my higher graded ones. Going back and watching it, that was a great halftime show. I did not like it at live, but I believe I was sick during that Super Bowl. And 2, I love Coldplay. Don't get me wrong. One of my favorite bands of all time. I think they had the single worst Super Bowl halftime of all time.
Really?
Yeah. And it's for one specific reason is that I remember as a kid watching this back in 2015 it was. I could not hear it because the volume of, I guess, their mics or whatever were so low. And because of the stadium that they were in, like Levi's, the speakers were off. I think that was one of my least favorite Super Bowl halftimes ever. And it had Bruno Mars in it too. It sucked.
Yeah, that. And I feel like Bruno Mars and Beyonce like almost took over that halftime show.
Yeah, they didn't
feel like a Coldplay halftime show.
They didn't.
Yeah, that's kind of the reason I put them on this list was because of that dance off. Because I'll go back and watch that dance off because I thought that was awesome. So when I say Coldplay, I do kind of mean like that because you have to encapsulate everything that happened during the halftime show. And when you talk about the Coldplay halftime show, everybody remembers that dance, that dance off between Bruno Mars and Beyonce. So that's more of what I was talking about when I was talking about the Coldplay halftime show. Because I agree with you, Coldplay. I love them to death. They did not really perform. Not to mention they were debuting their new album, and I really didn't like that I didn't like that album. I didn't think it was great. So yeah, but I was more talking with Bruno Mars and Beyonce.
Yeah,
that's what I think of when I think about that.
That's fair. I mean, they had to add Bruno Mars in there because he had the biggest song of all time, like Uptown Funk.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to pull up what my spreadsheet here, but you can move
Luke
on
has
to the next
PFF for
Where is
halftime
it?
shows.
Oh, it's in August. All right. Yeah, ranking Super Bowl halftime. Coldplay, I gave him a 6.5 on the vocals, a 9 for the final song, a 6.5 for visuals, and a 7.5 for what I named cool shit. So
It's a great,
that's good
Great
analysis. Good as you could get.
Oh my god. All right, moving on, guys. Just want to mention the Overtime app really quickly. If you haven't downloaded it yet, go download it. Great app. Links in all of our bios if you want to download it. We all use it. We're not just promoting this because we're not getting paid. We're not getting paid to promo this. So it's a great app. Go download it. Use the links if you want to support the podcast. If you don't, download it anyway. They got fun pools. You got scores and everything. It's a great app. So moving on from that, though, let's talk about maybe the greatest reunion of recent memory. Tom Brady is going back to Foxborough this weekend. Has the media blown this a little too out of proportion, or do you think it's getting properly rated? Luke, what do you think?
I mean, it's probably the biggest game of all time. I mean, regular season wise, you're talking about the GOAT. Let's be honest. Won 6 Super Bowls and is now going back. Like, this is different from when Brett Favre went back to Green Bay. Like, this is different. We're talking about the greatest player in the history of the NFL. And that kills me to say that, but it's true. And you're talking about him going up against the greatest coach in the NFL. Who's better? Who made the dynasty? Was it Belichick? Was it Brady? Right now, Brady's winning that race because of what he just did last season in Tampa. So I think this. I'm not so much looking at it as like Brady needs to go kill this team, which I think he's going to go in with that mindset. But this is a huge game for Bill Belichick. Legacy wise, this is everything. What more does Bill Belichick have to prove in his NFL career other than he was the one that created that dynasty? He was the glue to that team. That's it. That's all he has to prove, that he made that team better than Tom Brady made that team. And this is probably one of the only chances he's going to get to prove that, unless they meet in the Super Bowl, unless they meet in one of these. They're doing the 17th game now, the AFC NFC crossover. So this probably is going to be his last chance. It's the two GOATs going up against each other, and Rob Gronkowski as well. So it's going to be a great game. I'm so glad we got this on Sunday Night Football. Schedule makers, thank you. Except, why are we scheduling this and then putting Bengals and Jaguars on primetime football? Like, what's
this? Is a good game, though. This is a good game that's going on right now. It might go down to the wire,
at least.
Yeah.
I could think of a million other good games that I'd rather watch, but
and Buccaneers Patriots is Sunday Night Football, so it is prime time at least. As far as my thoughts on it, I don't think the media is necessarily overhyping it. Like, if there's a game to hype up, it's going to be this one. And I don't think the matchup's going to be quite as good as a lot of people are expecting. I do think the Bucs are probably going to come out and pretty much do what they want in this situation. I don't expect a lot out of the Patriots or a lot out of Mac Jones per se. But I think it's going to be exciting. I'm excited to see Tom Brady and Bill Belichick go at it.
Yeah. Kind of going off of what Luke said. Do you think like Bill really thinks about the fact that he wants to be known as the guy that led those Patriots teams? Like, when you think about that Patriots dynasty, do you think like Bill, I'm pretty sure Tom thinks about it because Tom's just a competitive motherfucker, but like, do you think Bill, like he's cognizant of that?
He has to be, because that's the only reason why he wanted Tom out the door. Like, he didn't think that team could compete with Tom, which is just absolutely crazy.
Stupid. Yeah.
I don't know. I struggle between like Bill Belichick plays off a lot of this stuff and Bill Belichick doesn't give a shit about anything. Like, I go constantly back and forth between those two things, just depending on the situation and what they ask him about and stuff like that. But I think that he does care to an extent, and that's why things unfolded kind of the way they did. But I don't know.
Yeah. Do you guys think there's any bad blood between the two of them, or do you think they're kind of just on, like business terms, like, hey, you were my boss, we don't have to speak anymore, that we're not working together?
I think they're probably on business terms. I mean, they're probably gonna go hug or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen Bill do that to anybody, but I think they're both competitors. They both want to win, and they both have spite for each other. Like, let's be real. So I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I think there's some respect there, but there's also some just a little bit of bad blood. I think we'll shake hands and we'll be cool with each other, but we're not going to have dinner after this or anything like that.
Yeah, I think it's exactly what Gage said. I think they're going to shake hands, be like, hey, good game, and then just, walk away from each other.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll, quick hug, quick handshake pregame or something like that. But I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. I don't think these guys are calling each other up at night, talking shit about the game. Pats fans, they can't not cheer when he walks into the stadium. I know Favre, but I feel like that was different because it was like the bitter rival of the Green Bay Packers. Like he went to the Vikings. Like if Brady would have gone to I don't know, is the Jets even a rival anymore because they haven't been competitive? If Brady would have gone to the Dolphins, like do you think,
or the Broncos,
or something like
Giants.
That? Do you think? All right, let's talk about on the Bucs. Do you guys think he's going to get booed? Because I don't think he's going to get. Yeah, no.
I honestly don't think. I think he could have gone to an in-division rival and they still would not have booed him.
Really?
Return. Yeah, genuinely.
I feel like maybe if you went to the Dolphins or something, maybe. I don't know. I don't know who the Patriots have bad blood with.
Nobody, because they're just so good in their division.
I know.
Everybody
That's
sucks.
what I'm thinking. I'm like, who the fuck is their rival?
I think it would be the Broncos. I think it'd be the Broncos.
I think probably. He's gonna get cheered.
I think Pats fans hate the Steelers.
That's another one I was thinking of. If Brady would have gone to the Giants,
that would have been.
There would be
they might have booed then. Then.
Oh man, how different would the NFL be if Brady went to the fucking Giants?
If Brady went to any other team, Brady had the opportunity to be selected by literally every other team multiple times.
I remember I thought he was going to the Titans for the longest time. I thought everything made sense.
All right. If the Pats win, will Brady shake Mac Jones's hand, or is he just going to kind of, walk off the field and just, I don't know.
I think he does.
Yeah.
I think regardless of the outcome of this game, Brady is not going to run into the locker room. And I don't think it's a very likely outcome that Mac Jones wins this game, first of all. But if he does, you're gonna have to. I mean, what are you gonna? It is your hometown. I know I know it's Tampa Bay now, but that's your blood. That's where you grew up. So there's no shot he runs in the locker room unless Brady is an absolute worse asshole than I already think he is. He should be shaking his hand, and Bill's too.
Yeah.
Fuck no, he's not shaking his hand if he beats him. Are you kidding me?
Really?
The kid beats him in his hometown that you're talking about. Bill Belichick beats him after I know you guys have heard these stories going around about Bill Belichick didn't even meet with him when he was leaving. He had a phone call with him because he couldn't meet and stuff. And I know I said there wasn't really any a ton of bad blood, but I feel like there's still that competitiveness there. Yeah. No, I don't think he didn't even shake Nick Foles' hand when he beat him last year when the Bears beat the Bucs and stuff like that. And I know that's a little bit different, but I just don't see him shaking Mac Jones' hand if the Pats win.
It's tough to me. I feel like in that situation, I feel like if the Patriots win, that would be the situation where Belichick sought out Brady. He would want to just kind of give him that, in your face handshake. Hey, good game. I don't know. I could just see the camera panning to Belichick navigating through traffic, just looking for Brady to give him that handshake. And Brady just kind of, just a little pissed off. That'd be interesting, though. I don't think the Patriots have any chance of winning this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't either.
Which brings us to our next topic of week 4 game picks. So Who do you guys think is going to win? I got the Bucs. If you couldn't tell already.
I mean, don't we all?
Yeah.
There's
We all
there's
have
no
the Bucs.
there's no shot. There's no shot. I mean,
There
this
is a
is
shot though. There is a shot because it's Belichick and he's pissed off about Brady, and I
don't
think he's
think
just going to
so.
pull every rabbit out of his hat that he
I
has.
just don't think they have the tools on offense.
Yeah. Belichick
I
is
know
the
that-
one
I know that-
playing.
And I know that Bucs secondary is weak and stuff, but still, I don't know that I have that much faith in Mac Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom
Yeah.
Brady too, crazy psycho Tom, as Skip Bayless calls him. He's gonna come out on Sunday. And what if he throws? And wait, sorry, Gage, but like
No.
they scheduled this perfectly. He's gonna break the passing yards record in this game too.
Yeah.
That's what's even crazier.
That's another thing. Fuck Tom Brady. You couldn't just retire and let Drew Brees have it. You fucking douchebag.
Yeah, scumbag.
How many yards? Do you guys know how many yards he needs?
It's like
I think 46 or something.
Yeah.
Oh man.
He almost got it last game because they were down by so much against the Rams. They were just throwing it all the time.
Yeah. So yeah, he's definitely gonna break it here. That's crazy. Imagine it's like a Bears game. It's like the Bears last week, and the Patriots hold them like 45 yards.
Imagine, yeah.
That's Bill's goal this week. You know he doesn't want him to get a passing yards record
absolutely.
in Foxborough. He's gonna be dialing up every blitz he has.
They get called for pass interference every single play.
Just don't let them
Every
complete
play.
a pass.
No.
Just don't let them complete a pass. I don't care if you're gonna hold the receiver, dive on them. I don't give a shit. No passes are getting completed in Foxborough this weekend. That'd be so
I love
funny.
it.
Moving on to Gage's team down in NOLA. They will be going up against the Giants this weekend. Gage, I gotta imagine you're feeling pretty confident about this matchup.
If we lose to the Giants, all hope is lost.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm taking the Saints in this one. Got to. Our defense has been fantastic thus far when we have all of our pieces on the field, obviously. Our run defense has been one of the best in the league through 3 games, and I just don't see Saquon Barkley doing that well. So I got us.
Yeah. As I pull up the Giants schedule here, they are in one of the worst positions I've seen in quite some time. I mean, they're already 0-3, and now they're playing the Saints this week. They have the Cowboys next week. Then they have the Rams, the undefeated Panthers, the Chiefs, the Raiders, the Bucs afterwards. There's a legit chance this team goes 0-10 for the through the first 10 weeks of the season. There's no way I'm picking them here against the Saints. It's at New Orleans. Oh, wait, this is the homecoming game, right?
Yeah. This
All
is
right.
actually going to be in New Orleans. We're not going to be on the road for a home game.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me Jameis Winston. He's gonna be eating W's on Sunday. Let me tell you. Give me him by 1 million.
Yeah, I especially since this is the return to New Orleans like this, there's no way in hell the Giants win this game. That dome is going to be rocking, man. They're not going to be able to hear shit.
Yep.
So yeah, give me the Saints all the way in this one.
Yep.
All right, moving on. We got the Ravens at the Broncos. I actually think this could be like a sneaky good game this weekend.
Yeah.
So Luke, who you got?
I have the Denver Broncos. I think although the teams that they've beat through the first 3 weeks are combined 0-9, their defense is absolutely stellar. I think it very well could be the best defense in the entire league right now. It's in Denver, the high altitude, and the Ravens are coming off a game where, I mean, they did not put a full game together. I mean, they came back in the end. They had that 4th and 19 miraculous kick by Justin Tucker to win the game. But they did not look good on the road against the Lions at all. I think they do have some flaws on this team, and this is not the defense you want to play up against coming off a game like that. So give me the Broncos. And I think they're going to win by a significant margin. I think they're probably going to win by double digits. I really like this defense, and I'm going to hope that Teddy could bring it home for me.
I'm actually going to disagree on this one. I'm taking the Ravens in this game. It's the lines are really close. I think the Broncos are like 1-point favorites or something like that.
They're favorited, really?
Yeah, the Broncos are.
Huh.
But obviously not by much. But I like the Ravens. They're getting some of their offensive pieces back. They're getting those receivers back, like I've been talking about for a while now, where I said once Lamar gets those pieces, he's going to show that he is a good passer. Like he is a more than manageable passer. I can't wait to see Rashad Bateman get on the field. I did manage to pick him up in a couple leagues, so I'm pretty excited about that. I'm hoping.
Is he returning?
He could play this game. It's not for certain yet, though. He is coming off of IR, though. Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to take the Ravens on this one.
I listen. If there's another spot for Justin Tucker to make another miraculous kick, it's Denver, Colorado. I mean, the air is pretty damn thin up there. If you look at the records for longest kicks, if they're not in a dome, it's in Denver. So this is a situation where we could see what happened last week. The Ravens didn't look good last week. The Lions should have won that game. The Lions should have won that game. I would argue the Lions were the better team in that game. It seems like the Ravens this year are playing down to the competition. Which is never a position you want to be in as a team that's supposed to be a significant playoff contender, as the Ravens are supposed to be, at least. I'm going to agree with Luke. I'm going to take the Broncos in this one. Thinner air up there in Denver. Lamar might get winded quicker with all that running he's going to do, with all that carrying the team on his back he's going to be doing, because they've just had like no run game whatsoever outside of Lamar so far this year. So yeah, I got the Broncos in this one. I don't know if it'll be a convincing victory, but I think the Broncos just edged them out.
Okay, it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a good game.
Yeah. Damn. Oh, I hate seeing games like this. We move on to the Washington football team at the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, this is a doozy. Gage.
I just want to mention real quick, we've been talking about the Washington football team and their defense not looking as good as we thought it would at this point. You know that they're the second worst in the league right now.
Yep.
That's how bad they've been playing.
Yep.
Yeah, I have them on one of my fantasy teams, and they suck.
Same pieces, same defensive coordinator, and they just are. I don't know what's going on, but I am still taking them in this game. Taylor Heineke is the truth. They might be getting Curtis Samuel back in this game as well. So him and Terry McLaurin going up against that Falcons defense, I like it a lot.
I think the Falcons are going to win this game, but I'm not picking them because I refuse to pick the Falcons at all this entire season. I will hold that. When you pick the Falcons, they will inevitably let you down every single time. So I will just never pick them. I will always pick against them, and that's just the safer bet in every single game. I don't care who they're playing. Give me the Washington football team. I do think the Falcons are ultimately going to win this, though. I just have a hunch that Matty Ice is just going to say, fuck you, Luke Rosenthal. I watch your podcast all the time and you're talking shit about me. So give me the Washington football team.
By the way, the Bengals did end up winning, did end up beating the Jaguars. Just a quick update on that. I got Washington in this one. I just, spur of the moment. It was between the Falcons and Giants last week. I was like, fuck it. I said Falcons, and that went very well for me. But yeah, that's not going to happen again. Washington, it's too talented. Their defense is too talented to suck this much. It's too every level has stars on it. Every single fucking level has stars on it. So it's got to click at some point. You would think it's going to come together at some point. And this is as good a game as any. Atlanta is going to be one of the worst teams in the leagues this year. We all know that. So Washington, step up. Come on. Give me something here. I have you in one of my fantasy teams, and I'm damn near going to drop your defense.
I haven't been like most of my fantasy teams, and it's tough.
Yeah. Terrible. So I got Washington in this one. Hopefully they can pull this one out. Moving on to the Texans at the Buffalo Bills. This was a playoff game a couple of years ago. Oh, how things have changed. Luke,
right?
Who you got in this one?
This is tough, man. Wow. Yeah. This is tough.
In Buffalo too. If that changes your mind about anything,
that makes it close then.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Buffalo by 44. I'm thinking that sounds about right. Give me Buffalo. Enough said. Davis Mills didn't look terrible in his debut, but I mean this Buffalo offense is red hot. Let's start throwing it to Stephon Diggs, please. Come on.
Give me the Bills, and I want Trey White to have an interception. Jordan Poyer is going to have an interception, and then I want Josh Allen to have 4 touchdowns through the air and 1 on the ground.
Wow, that's a lot there.
That's very specific. So Bills, no questions asked here. Give me Philip Lindsay to have a fumble in this game, though. Just if we're just rattling off random stats,
sounds good.
All right. Moving on to the Lions at the Bears. Bears just had the news that they're probably going to be moving out of Soldier Field soon. I've never been there, but a a lot of Bears fans say that it's completely a shithole. So as much history as there is there. So Lions at Bears, this game might not look good at first, but I think it's going to be kind of interesting. What do you guys think, Gage?
I am picking the Lions to win their first game of the season in this one.
Yes.
We've talked about it multiple weeks now. The Lions look a lot better than a lot of people were expecting. Their run game looks amazing. And I think that they are going to beat the Bears because, as we've talked about time after time after time, Matt Nagy sucks at everything.
Yeah.
I just have a weird feeling. Like, I want to pick the Lions so bad. I'm picking the Bears. They're at home. They're at Soldier Field. I think this is going to be a bounce back game for Justin Fields. I mean, hopefully we're, giving him some extra protection finally. But yeah, I just have a weird feeling that the Bears are going to pull this one out. I'm going to pick the Lions eventually. I promise. Whatever the next like good team that they play, I'm not talking Bears. I'm talking an actual good team that they play. I'm going to pick them. Guaranteed. I don't care who it is, except for the Green Bay Packers. I will not be doing that.
I was about to say, what if it was it's actually the Vikings kind of next anyway. Yeah, I'm going with the Lions in this one. I feel like they smelled blood in the water in the last game. They were this close to beating the fucking Ravens, who just went into Kansas City and beat the Chiefs.
Yep.
So I think Dan Campbell has got this crew ready to go out for blood right now. So going into Chicago, he's showing them the film. He's showing them how bad of a coach Matt Nagy is, and that he's getting them ready to run through a brick wall right now. And I think the Lions are going to jump into Soldier Field and drop 21 points in the first half, just before the Bears could even think about it. I think this is going to be a blowout on part of the Lions. I think this is the game the Lions proved to us that they really shouldn't be talked about towards the bottom of the league, because they have been playing like sort of a mid-20s team rather than 28 to 32 kind of team.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just have such a trust in Dan Campbell, and everything he's put on the field in Detroit just strengthens that even more. So yeah, I got the Lions, and I don't even think it's going to be relatively close in this game.
I think it'll be close at least. I do want to add, I think Allen Robinson has a bounce back game this week. I think
hopefully.
He'll look good.
Jesus Christ, I hope so. Oh my gosh. Have him in like every single one of my fantasy leagues.
Jake, if they do blow out the Bears, does Matt Nagy get fired after the game?
That's something I wanted to ask you. Gage, you were going to say something?
I've been hearing rumors about that. I have been hearing rumors that they say if he loses this game to the Lions, he is out the door.
Wow. Already.
Yep.
Already. Week 4. Not even a month in.
That's crazy. I mean, the last person I can remember getting fired this early in the season, Joe Philbin. Didn't Joe Philbin with the Dolphins years back? This is going way back. Got fired like 5 games into the season or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And then they went with
that's
Adam
crazy.
Gase.
Yeah.
Woo! That was a good hire.
The Dolphins.
They did make the playoffs though. Did they make the playoffs with Philbin?
They did make the playoffs. They made the playoffs with Matt Moore at quarterback. That's kind of impressive. That Adam Gase did that.
Remember that hit in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Dupree just killed him.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Not
One of
good.
the biggest hits ever.
Anyway, as we got sidetracked, I think this is going to be a really big. It might not look like the biggest game on paper, but this has got some serious implications, this game.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a fun one to watch. Moving on to a game that's also going to be fun to watch, Panthers at Cowboys. My MVP pick, obviously, going at it, looking stellar right now. Luke, who you got in this one?
I have the Dallas Cowboys. I think this is going to be the first true challenge for the Carolina Panthers. It's in Dallas, like you said, and this Dallas defense, while they still do give up a bunch of yards from time to time, they are ridiculously opportunistic. They are ridiculously athletic, and they are much improved from last year with Dan Quinn at the helm of all people. So I really like this Cowboys team this year. I really do. I think they're putting it together. Dak is having a phenomenal start to the season. Zeke is starting to get going too. I mean, 2 ridiculous wide receivers in CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper. They just lost out on J.C. Horn for the season. Who knows if CJ Henderson's going to be up to speed to play this quickly. So give me the Cowboys and give me them by 13 points. And I like Zach Martin to have at least one false start in this game.
All right, we're getting real specific now. I like that you said by 13 points, though, because this is the first leg of a 3-leg parlay for Gage's Dead of the Week. Woo! And I am taking the Cowboys to win it. They are negative 4.5 point favorites. So I like that.
Have faith.
If I could give myself a drum roll, I would. I'm going with the motherfucking Carolina Panthers in this game. Okay. All right. Cowboys on a short week. They just played on Monday Night Football. Okay. Blew out the Eagles. Not that that's helping my case right now, but listen, Carolina, yes, they just lost Christian McCaffrey. Okay. Who gives a shit? Who cares? Is he good? Maybe. He's like, all right.
Is he like their entire offense? I mean, yes, but
listen, Sam Darnold has more rushing touchdowns than him, though.
That's true.
Sam Darnold is tied for the most rushing touchdowns in the league, actually.
It's disgusting.
Because he's just as good as Kyler Murray. Anyway.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think the Panthers are giving me really strong vibes in this game. Their defense is like one of the best in the league. Like their defense is not getting talked about enough. The Carolina Panthers defense has been fucking stout to start the season. Dante Jackson is playing out of his mind. Jeremy Chin is great. Shaq Thompson. You like just go through the levels of that defense and you're going to be like, they don't have a weakness. Like they don't. Especially before JC Horn got hurt, you're like, shit, like I can't find a weakness on this team. And yeah, it's gonna they're probably not going to have CJ Henderson to start this week. He's just not going to be caught up on the defensive plays. But yeah, I got the Panthers in this one. Just a feeling in my gut. I really can't give you any like logical reason as to why. I just feel like the Cowboys, as good as they look, they're still on and off. They've always been a team they've had this amount of talent for years now. And they've always been a team where it just comes and goes. And I think this is one of the weeks where it goes. So I'm taking the Panthers in this one.
It's your MVP.
Right. Yes. I do believe that Derek Brown will have at least one illegal hands to the face in this game, though. I will call that.
Not two?
Not two. One illegal hands to the face.
All right. The over-under is 1.5. So.
Oh, geez. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm going to go under on that one. We'll go under. All right. Moving on to the Colts at the Dolphins. This is the most meh game I've ever seen. Luke, who you got in this one?
It might be the most meh game, but I feel like this is the hardest game to pick of the week, actually.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to expect out of this Colts team. I just don't. I feel like they could come out flat or they could come out firing and score like the first 3 touchdowns. I feel like there's no in between there. That being said, the Dolphins played a phenomenal game at Las Vegas. Jacoby Brissett looked like he should be the starter of this team, giving them that juice that they needed since Tua is going to be out with a rib injury for a little bit. I thought that the Colts were going to be that team this year. And it's just not working out. I can't pick them here. I got to go with the Dolphins. I'm trusting that defense. I'm trusting Brian Flores. I mean, Carson Wentz is as injured as he always is pretty much. So I think that defense is going to recognize that. They're going to come after him. He's going to be sending blitz packages, a bunch of different looks out of his way. I will say, I think the key to this game is going to be Nyheim Hines. I think he might be one of the most underrated players in the league, if not the most. He just never gets talked about. He's pretty much a human joystick, as much as someone could be. They're starting to find him. They found him a bunch of times last week. I think he had a touchdown, or he had 2. He definitely had 1. But I think he's definitely the key to the game for the Colts. That being said, I just don't see them getting it done. It's in Miami. Give me the Dolphins.
Wow. This is the second leg of my parlay, and I'm taking the Colts money line. I think I'm already too far down the hole to turn back and say, oh, well, the Colts are just going to suck now. I think that they're going to get their first win of the season in Miami. I think this is the team that they're going to beat. I feel like the majority of the Colts' issues are coming in the red zone. They get to the goal line and cannot get it done. And I think that it's only a matter of time before they figure that stuff out. They figure out the plays that are going to get them over that threshold. And I think that they are going to maybe not blow out the Dolphins, but I think they win by a couple scores here.
Yeah, I'm taking the Colts in this one. As good of a fight as Miami put up, the Colts got to win one at some point. They're not a team that should be winless up to this point. So yeah, I just have a feeling about the Colts in this one. I feel like they're going to pull this one out, regardless of it being in Miami. So yeah, moving on to the next one, we got Browns at Vikings. This should be a good one. What do you guys think? Gage, you want to give your thoughts on this one first?
This worked out that these 3 games were in a row because this is actually the third leg of my parlay.
Hey.
I've got the Browns and Vikings over 51.5. I feel like that's fairly reasonable. I thought the same thing last week about that Seahawks Vikings, and Seahawks screwed me over. Thanks a lot. I'm going to blame you, Jake. Thanks a lot, Jake.
So sorry. I'm so sorry.
Coach them boys up.
I know. I should have been. I really should have coached them better this week. It's my fault.
But I am going to take the Browns in this one. I feel like that defense is really starting to get their shit together. They're starting to figure some things out. Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney are playing really well together. Luke, you shouted out JOK in the last episode, and I fully agree with that because he's playing out of his mind. As far as linebackers go, I think he has like the 4th lowest passer rating allowed or something like that. So that just shows how good he's been in pass coverage. He's obviously flying in and getting sacks and stuff like that too. So I like the Browns team to go in there and take care of business.
I also like the Browns in this matchup. This Vikings secondary just isn't doing it for me. I mean, Pat P is pretty much burnt toast at this point in his career. I feel like they are missing Anthony Harris a little bit. He went on to move to the Philadelphia Eagles. Harrison Smith is good as ever. Maybe taking a little bit of a step back with age, but that tends to happen in the NFL. I like the Browns here. Regardless if they get Nick Chubb going or not, they have so many weapons. And now that Odell Beckham is back, they finally have that number 1 guy that they can throw to. A lot of LSU wide receivers in this game, not named Jarvis Landry because obviously he's on IR. But give me the Browns here. I like them by a lot.
Yeah, I'm taking the Browns in this one too. Obviously, I was firsthand exposed to how good the Vikings offense was this weekend as my Seahawks got crushed by them. But the Browns are too good. The Browns are too good. They've looked at least better the last couple of weeks. I think this is a game. The Vikings defense, as good as they played against the Seahawks, they're not usually that good. I think that was a little bit of inflation, if you will. But yeah, I think the Browns are too good in this game. I think they're going to expose. They're going to expose the Vikings for how weak the defense really is. Because they've just got weapons all over the place. So yeah, give me the Browns in this one. Give me JC Treader to have at least 3 holding calls.
Here we go.
No, 2 holding calls. All right, moving on. Titans at Jesus Christ. Titans. We're all Titans.
Titans.
Okay. Oh, what?
No.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's skip past this one. Chiefs at Eagles. Chiefs. Are we all Chiefs in this
Chiefs.
one? Okay.
Chiefs.
All right. Great. All right. Good game. Cardinals at Rams. Here we go. All right, Luke, who you got?
This is the game of the week, in my opinion, and I just don't think that the Cardinals are ready to compete with this team. Give me the Rams. A little bit of a quick analysis there, but I just think the Rams are the best team in the NFL, and I still think that the Cardinals are pretty much the Clippers to how the Lakers are in LA. They are the little brothers of this division, and I just don't think they're ready for the spotlight right now. It's their first real big test of the season. But I think the Rams are a better team, plain and simple. Give me the Rams.
I was really high on the Cardinals up to this point. As you guys know, after that week 1 performance against the Titans, I was like, okay, they've really got something here because of the way that defense showed out and everything. But they haven't looked the best over the past couple games, and they've won both of those games just toward the end, just barely. I mean, they win the Vikings game off of what a missed kick, and then they were almost losing to the Jaguars. So that's an issue. I'm taking the Rams here as well. We talked a little bit in the last episode how we all think that they are the best team in football right now, and I think they're going to continue to show that.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Rams in this one. The NFC West is weird, so I was thinking the Cardinals because usually how the NFC West works is every team splits with every team, but they win the game that they're playing away. This is the NFC West. It's always happens that way. But in this case, I agree that the Cardinals haven't been looking as good as they looked in week 1 as of lately. And the Rams just proved to me last week that they're the best team in the league. They are. They're the best team in the league. And I'm going to keep picking them until they prove me otherwise. So I'm going with the Rams in this one.
Fair enough.
Moving on to a matchup I am not looking forward to. Another NFC West matchup, Seahawks at Niners. Luke, who you got?
This is a tough one. They've provided us with some great games over the past couple of years. I remember that 2019 Week 17 game where it literally came down to the 1 yard line, last second left. That was one of the best games I ever saw. Still mad that the 49ers won that.
So sorry.
Yeah. I'm sorry for you as well, but cost the Packers number 1 seed, but whatever. So I have the Seahawks winning this game. This is a terrible situation for the Seahawks to be in. They could very easily be 1-3 after this week. But I saw the 49ers get out physicaled by a not so physical football team last week in San Francisco. And that's given me confidence to pick the Seahawks here. I don't think Jimmy G is that guy. I mean, he had countless mistakes last week, some overthrows. I mean, he fumbled the ball, throwing it at the ground backwards. Like, he just makes like silly mistakes like this. I think it's only a matter of time before Trey Lance actually comes in and plays. And this 49ers defense just isn't the same defense from 2019. They are vulnerable in the secondary. Nick Bosa did not look good at all. Their whole front seven didn't look good at all. I mean, Fred Warner was nowhere to be found. I like the Seahawks in this game. Give me Russ to bounce back. I think they're going to put up some points, and I don't think that the 49ers have the offense, have what it takes from Jimmy G to keep up with this Seahawks offense. So give me Russ in Seattle to win this game.
See, Luke, you said that the Colts Dolphins game was the hardest to pick this week. I think this game is the hardest to pick. But before I give this analysis, Jake, I'm going to go ahead and apologize ahead of time. I just don't see. I thought over it a lot. And the Seahawks have like literally the worst defense in the entire league right now. And it is just bad. It's in shambles. And as in shambles as the 49ers secondary is, I cannot take the Seahawks when the 49ers just competed with a significantly better defense, in my opinion. It was a competitive game. It came down to the wire. 37 seconds left. Aaron Rodgers wins it, obviously, but the 49ers damn near had it. So I think with the defense in the shape that it's in, they've got guys like Deebo Samuel stepping up. Brandon Ayuk finally had a game last week, and look for Trey Sermon in his second game as a starter to have a really good game, I think.
Where do I begin? I'm not gonna go far into it because Spads posted a video in my live. If you're in my live, then you know how I feel about this team. This is it. If we go 1-3, I think we could kiss our playoff chances goodbye. They better come out with a fire up under their ass in this game. They better, because it's in San Francisco. I hate when we play in San Francisco. It sucks, but this we got to win this one. There's no, if we win, they have to win this game. You never want to have a game that you have to win in week 4. Yeah. This is a game they got to win for a lot of reasons. So yeah, I'm going to take the Seahawks in this one. I'm standing behind my team. I know the talent that we have on this team, because not only did our defense not show up last week, our offense really didn't show up either, which kind of pissed me off. We got to fix it in the second half. We've scored like no points in the second half over the past couple of games. That's terrible. That's got to get better. I'm taking the Seahawks in this one for no other reason other than hope. That's the only reason I'm taking them. So I gotta have that. In this game.
You gotta have
exactly.
That. I would have been mad. Hope. I would have been mad at you if you picked the Niners there.
Yeah, as you picked the
Niners last week.
Yeah. You gotta learn from my mistakes.
Yeah. Speaking of the Packers, we got the Steelers at the Packers. Gage, who you got?
Steelers suck. Ben Roethlisberger is done. And you know what? I want to take a second just to say maybe we should lay off a little bit, because I've seen a lot of tribute videos to Ben Roethlisberger here lately, and it's like getting me in my feels, because he was a big part of like our childhood as far as football goes. He's been a great player for a long time. So it does suck to see him like, his talent and stuff fading with age. But with that being said, the offense absolutely stagnates. The defense just doesn't look the same without TJ Watt. I don't know if he's going to play this week. Hopefully he does, but I think that the Packers are probably going to blow him out in this one.
I am completely agreeing with you. I think this is the game that puts the league on notice that the Packers are still as good as ever. I think week 1 was an anomaly, just like Aaron Rodgers says. I think the Steelers are in a really bad position here because their front seven is banged up. TJ Watt is banged up. Devin Bush is banged up, and that's affecting their secondary because they just can't get any pressure on the quarterback. And when you're playing Aaron Rodgers, that might be the worst player to go up against with that scenario. I think this is going to be a tremendous game for the Green Bay Packers, and I think they're going to win probably by multiple touchdowns. I think they're going to blow this team out. And Big Ben, it's time. I mean, father time always comes knocking. But I think it's his time now.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Packers in this one. Steelers are not good. I said this before the season. I was like, listen, the Steelers, they might come out with a punch, but they are not built to survive this season. This is the season where they're not going to make the playoffs. I don't care that they went 11-5 last season. I don't care that they started 11-0 last season, or was it 11-0? Yeah, no,
Yep.
and then they lost the last like 5 games. This is not a good team. So give me the Packers in this one by a lot. Give me the Steelers to have at least one illegal man downfield, and the Packers to have at least one illegal touching penalty.
And
those,
I'm gonna go with 2 roughing the passer calls.
2 roughing the passers.
Well.
Okay. All right. Gage, would you care any penalties you want to touch on?
I feel like you guys pretty much covered it. I don't have nothing off the top of my head,
No delay of games, nothing.
No.
Give me
running
3
into the kicker.
Give me 3 false starts total.
Okay.
3 false total. Okay. I like that.
Both teams.
I like that. Watch it. Okay. Now we're moving on to a Monday night football game that actually seems way better than last Monday night's football game, which was just atrocious. Raiders at Chargers. I mean, if I would have told you guys that the AFC West was ran by the Raiders this year, would you have believed me about a month ago?
Nope.
No,
absolutely not. It was a couple weeks ago. I was saying that they sucked.
Yeah. And the Chargers just beat Kansas City. So that doesn't look good for Kansas City. So this is going to be a great game. It's going to be a great game. Gage, start off with you. Who you got in this one?
Give me the Raiders to take their first loss of the season. I think the Chargers are those guys. I think Justin Herbert's going to come out and he's going to have a solid game. I think maybe Austin Eckler gets going. He has some. I think it's going to be more of a receiving game for him than it is going to be a rushing game for him. Mm-hmm. But honestly, that Chargers receiving duo of Keenan Allen and Mike Williams right now looks like one of, if not the best in the league. Those guys are going off, and I think they're going to continue it this week. Give me the Chargers.
I completely 180'd on the Raiders in recent weeks. I remember earlier in the summer when Derek Carr talked about recruiting Devontae Adams. I was very anti-Derek Carr for that moment in time. And I just hate John Gruden. I hate that he's still the head coach of this team. I love the Raiders right now. If I wasn't a Packers fan, I might be a Las Vegas Raiders fan. I love Derek Carr. Don't get me wrong. I have the Chargers in this game as well. It's just a weird game. I think the Raiders got a little bit ahead of themselves in these 3 weeks that we've had now. They looked great in these games. Derek Carr is an early MVP favorite for sure, but I just don't think he gets it done in this game. They're still looking for a running game, still looking for Josh Jacobs to get 100% healthy. And I just think that this Raiders defense isn't going to be able to take care of Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. I think it's going to be a really big game day for those two. Except Casey Hayward has been a great free agent addition to the Raiders, might I add. I just think Justin Herbert gets it done in prime time, puts the league on notice. I mean, this is what a lot of people were expecting, that the Chargers were going to be this team to beat in the AFC. I wasn't expecting it, but here they are. I think they go 3-1.
If the Raiders were to go 4-0, how would that change your view of them, both of you?
I don't know. I'm really having a hard time with the Raiders. Like, I don't want to disrespect them because of what they've done thus far against teams that we considered good. But now, let's look at their schedule real quick. They went into overtime with the Ravens. You guys are now talking about the Ravens to struggle against the Broncos because of the week that they just had against the Lions, where they didn't look good. They beat the Steelers. We're now talking about the Steelers as one of the lesser teams in the league because their defense isn't quite performing and Big Ben can't get it done on the offensive side of the ball. And then they go into overtime with Miami, who we're now talking about losing to the 0-3 Colts. So I like the Raiders and I like a lot of what they have going on, but there's just so many question marks for me still. I want to see them go out and have a definitive win against a good team. If they beat the Chargers this week, like they really convincingly beat the Chargers, then I'm all in. I'll take the Raiders for what they appear to be.
I think a big reason why we learned, like you just explained, is specifically the Steelers game, why we look at their defense as being poor is because the Raiders offense, the Raiders completely killed them. I know that they squeaked by against the Ravens in that game, but that's still a quality win that nobody was expecting them to get. I wasn't expecting them to win that game. I wasn't expecting them to go into Pittsburgh and beat that defense, even though it is struggling. And then Miami is going to contend in every game. Let's be fair here. They are a playoff contender, I'd say, even without Tua Tagovailoa. They're always going to be competing in every game. I think they were the most impressive team through 3 weeks because they beat really competitive football teams, and a lot of the people in, the media just didn't pick them to win these games. I think they were the most impressive team.
Yeah, that's kind of the position I'm in right now. It's just because like the Raiders are proving so many people wrong this year that I'm gonna hop on this bandwagon that they got going on right here. So until they lose, I'm gonna pick them. I'm gonna pick the Raiders in this game. Also because I feel like we didn't pick a lot of games differently this week, so I want to get that separation. I want to catch Gage. Luke, you're kind of getting left in the dust.
Yeah. We'll catch up. We'll catch up.
Yeah. I'm taking the Raiders in this game. They just look good. They look good. Derek Carr is playing as good as football as ever. And they're just finding ways to win. They're finding ways to win. And Luke, cover your ears. John Gruden's doing a great job with this team right now. He is. He's got this team playing great football, and you got to give credit to the head coach when it comes to a team that was supposed to be, contending for one of the bottom teams in the league, and now they're 3-0. You got to give credit to the head coach for that, at least a little bit.
Okay.
And that is going to do it for episode 22 of the Totally Unqualified podcast. Do you guys have anything, any final thoughts to add?
Yeah, make sure to go check us out on all of our social medias. I am Football Fan Zone. Gage is Extra Points, and Jake is Jake Maltese 3. Make sure to go check us out, and the Totally Unqualified accounts as well.
Yeah, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. Obviously, we're going to have football on. I hope that you get to spend all Sunday watching these games, and I hope all of my picks are correct, obviously.
I love you, TU crew.